Hi guys, welcome to day 8 of the 20 days of Power BI challenge with Zakra Learning. Today, we're going to learn how to create charts and format them in Power BI. Power BI boasts of a diverse palette of charts and visualizations. Each chart is tailored to specific data presentations and your analytical goals. Are you trying to explain using your charts, or are you trying to explore using your charts? There are some basic charts that are very popular among analysts in Power BI. Generally, in fact, you have the bar charts, the column charts, the line charts, and area charts. The bar charts are ideal for comparing categorical data, identifying differences in magnitude between categories. You can use them for things like sales by category, customer segments by spending, or website traffic by source. Column charts, on the other hand, they are similar to bar charts, but they are positioned horizontally. Here's a picture of a column chart. So in the visualization pane, once you hover over a chart, you see the title of that chart. So here is a stacked bar chart, and we have the clustered bar charts. So the horizontally positioned charts here are called the column charts. So column charts are best for situations with many categories or limited vertical space. How about line charts? In the second row of your visualization pane, you see different combinations of line charts. The first one is the ordinary line chart. Line charts track trends and changes over time. We use them for stock prices over time, website traffic trends, or sales projections. Similar to that is the area chart. The area chart shows trends and emphasizes the magnitude of change over time by shading the area beneath the line. This is useful for visualizing multiple overlapping trends or comparing total values over time. At the very end, you'll see at the end of the second row here, you see 3 charts that combine line charts and bar or column charts. These 2 charts are called combo charts. Combo charts combine different chart types within a single visual. It is useful for showing both overall trends and individual data points for specific categories. So we're going to start by creating simple visuals, then format them today. Later on, we'll learn about some more assorted and sophisticated visuals like your funnel charts, your tree maps, your gauge charts, your radar charts, and so on and so forth. Now, before we continue, I'd like us to format our canvas area. All right. In order to do that, you click on the format your report page icon next to the visualization icon. Under there, you see different options that can be expanded. You click on page information, you can change the page name, you can allow question and answer, that is the AI It's an AI visual for question and answer, asking and answering questions from your data rather. You can also apply canvas settings, different types of canvas settings to your canvas area. Right now we are using the 16:9. If I click on the 4:3 ratio, you can see the size has changed. You can also change to the letter format. You can see your visual now appears, so looks like something like the A4 paper. You can also apply or convert your canvas area or that page into a what? Tooltip format. A tooltip is information about a chart element that appears whenever you hover over that chart element. All right, so sometimes you can use visuals as your tooltip. And then there's an option for custom format. Right now we are going to click on the reset to default button. So most format options have this reset to default option that you can click on whenever you want to revert to the original settings. You can also choose a background for your canvas area. For instance, it's currently white color. If I like maybe teal color, for instance, I'll just come down here and select teal color. But notice something, it has not reflected in my canvas yet. Why is that? Because the transparency has been set to 100%. When I set the transparency to 0, you see that the color has now been applied to my canvas. All right, so you can set or change your canvas background, all right, in the page format option. Another thing you can do is to browse for images and apply images from your desktop to as the background of your canvas area. Okay, so for now I don't have any image to add here, so but it's good to know. So I'm just going to set the transparency back to 100%. Next, you can apply wallpapers to your canvas background. So the wallpapers extends beyond the canvas background to the remaining part of your canvas area, outside the canvas area. All right, so if I change this color and say I apply the teal color again, you can see it has what? Applied it to all the chart area. All right, as all the canvas area, the entire canvas area. And I can set this to say, if I set this to increase its transparency, you can see how it looks. So I'm just going to revert to the original color. I could have clicked on reset to default also. So the other options you have is the filter pane and the filter cards. Okay, these are the filter. This is the filter pane. This is the filter pane, and here are the filter cards. You can also apply formats to your filter pane and filter cards. All right, now one last thing before we go. Under your canvas settings, you can set how you want the canvas to be placed. You have two options there, the top versus the middle. I for one prefer to place my canvas in the middle. All right, so having seen this, let's go back to our visualization pane. We are going to be building visuals. we're going to be building visuals. And before you build visuals, before you create charts, you need to first have questions or business questions you want to answer using your charts. So that is the first step before choosing the kind of charts you to convey your message or to tell your story. You want to first ask yourself or determine the business question you like to answer. The next thing is to identify the data types, the type of data you want to visualize before choosing a chart type. All right. So, for instance, based on the data the data model we created yesterday, where we used the Superstore data set to normalize the Superstore data set and created a data model from the Superstore data set. We can begin to ask some questions. All right, so it's time to create our first visual. We're going to start with a clustered column chart. Once you click on the chart, it appears on your canvas. Then you can add fields to the chart to visualize the relationship between those fields. So let's say we want to find out which product category generated the most sales. I'll go to my data pane, check or select the category column and select the sales column. Once I do that, my column chart has now been created for me. As you can see, the columns represent the categories and the height of the columns represents the amount in terms of sales that was generated by each of those categories. All right. To format our chart, I'll click on the Format Visual icon in the visualization pane. From here, we can format any element or any aspect of our visual. Let's start from the general section. Here you can format the size, the width, the position and padding of your visual. To adjust the size, so let's say we want 500 pixels for the height. You can just type that in and you have 500 pixels for the height. You can also adjust the position of your chart horizontally and vertically. You can see because my chart is already at the very top of the canvas, the vertical value there is 0, and then horizontally it has 10 points, say 10 points or so. So as you can see, the more I increase that vertical value, right, the more space is created at the very top there. I can also adjust the padding for my visual. All right, padding refers to the space between the visual and the chart area. So if I change this value to say 20, for instance, you can see there's more space between the X or the Y axis and the bars. All right, and if I change this to 10, you can see, and I'll just revert to the original value. Now, next thing we're going to do is to format or to edit the title of our chart. Edit the title of our chart. To do that, we can edit the text or format the text. So this is sales by product category. Okay, so this is sales by product category. We can also add subtitle for more description of our chart. We can also add a divider. Okay, that's a line between the title and the main chart area. I'll turn that off for now. I can increase the title font or decrease it as the case may be. Okay, you can also adjust the spacing, that's the space between the chart and the title. So if I increase this to 10, you will notice how the space between the chart and the title has increased. Awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is to edit or to format the background and other aspects of our chart. For the background, we can change the color of our chart background to any color of our choice. So just for example, as you can see, we have changed the color to this light orange color. After making changes to our chart, we can revert to the original state by clicking on the Reset to Default button. We can also add visual borders, add shadows to our chart. Shadows are aesthetics that make your charts look cool, basically. You can specify the position and the offset. All right, how do you want your shadow to be placed? Okay, inside or outside. So you can also add or remove header icons, tooltips, and alt text. Alt text allows you to create inclusive charts. Offset allows you to create inclusive charts. Okay. So let's go to the other section, which is the visual section of our format area. You can format virtually every element of our chart, starting from the x-axis down to the plot area background. Now, for the x-axis, that is the horizontal axis, we can turn on or turn off the title. Okay, we can turn on or turn off the title. We can specify the display style, all right, on the x axis. We can edit the font and change, basically all the elements of the x axis. So what we're going to do right now is to turn off the title. So we turn off the title on the x axis. We will also go to the y axis, all right. Turn off the title on the y axis. Turn off the title. As you can see, why? Because the title of the chart is already self-explanatory. The next thing we are going to do is go to the next section. All right, because we have no legend in our chart, as you can see, there are no, the legend section is not highlighted. Okay, we'll add grid lines to our chart, or there are grid lines in our chart rather. So I'm going to turn it off for now. Okay, before I turn it off, let's look at the options we have there. We have the dashed, solid, or dotted line option. You can also format the color of the line, that's the color of your grid line, and adjust the width. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off. So I've turned off my grid line. I can also apply zoom slider. What does zoom slider do for you? It allows you to select a range of values from your numeric variable. Okay, range of values to view from your numeric variable. So if I click here and drag, I'm automatically viewing a section. Okay, so whatever value is there to the end. So I'm going to drag that back up and turn it off. We don't need that for now. You can also format the colors of your columns. All right, you can format the color. You can format them at once, that is the default color you can format at once, or you can apply those changes to individual columns. So if I would like to change the color of my column here, I'll click on more colors and select a cool color for my chart. You can also format individual columns in your chart by selecting and choosing maybe a different color for that column. I can also change the color for this one, say this one. All right, so colors allow you, if used correctly, help you lay emphasis on the message you like you're trying to pass with your chart. So clearly here, technology had the highest revenue as far as the superstore is concerned. So next, we'll look at data labels. Okay, so data labels are the specific values of each column in your chart. The specific value, the actual value of each column in your chart. Okay, so you can format the orientation. Do you want it to be vertical, horizontal? You can also format the position. Where do you want it to be? Do you want it to be currently it's at the outside end? You can set it to inside base. Okay, so I'll just leave it as outside end for now. You can also format the values of your chart. Okay, the values of your data label. Okay, currently the units are in million, but the numbers are actually not in million. So we're going to set it to what? To thousands. Okay, and then you can also format the number of decimal places you'd like to apply. You also have a new button here, which is the custom label. If you already have labels, all right, you already have probably a DAX measure, all right, that correlates with the label of the visual, the labels of that visual. You can what? Apply them here. Awesome. So you can also format the background of your chart by applying colors to it and setting the transparency as you wish or as you desire. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that off. We don't need that for now. So we've created a column chart, a clustered column chart, and we have formatted this chart. All right. Okay, there's something I missed, which is to turn off the values for the y axis. So we now have a nicely formatted column chart. If I create a new column chart, I can apply my format, all the settings or the format I've applied to this chart. I can transfer them to that column chart by using the format painter. So for instance, if I create, or if we create another, let's say we create, so to create a new chart, you need to click away from the current chart. Make sure no chart is selected, or else once you click on the chart icon, the chart will change in the canvas. So click away and select a new chart icon. Okay, so right now we have a clustered bar chart. Next, we would like to see the distribution of sales, right, by city. So this is the dim location column. I'm going to select the city option there and click on sales. So once I do that, my chart is being loaded. Awesome. So one advantage of bar charts is that it can accommodate more columns than the column chart. It can accommodate more bars or more categories than the column chart. So let's say I want to apply these formats to the bar chart I just created. I'm going to click the format painter and just click on my bar chart, and the format has been applied to it. As you can see, all the bars have now have the same color and same format as my column chart. Let's create a line chart. We create a line chart. Awesome. So line charts are used to track trends over time. Right now we would like to know what the monthly trend, okay, what the monthly profit trend is. So I'll click on profit, okay, and in the fact table, all right, I will expand the order date. There's a date hierarchy there. I'm going to check the month column. Okay, so here now you can see we have the monthly trend, all right, the monthly sales trend. So this is the total sum, or this is the sum of the profits rather. If we want to aggregate this value differently, the profit differently, we can click on this tiny downward facing arrow, okay, in the fields, in the profits field, okay, and change the value. You can change the statistic you would like to use to describe that field. You have the sum, average, minimum, maximum, count distinct, count, standard deviation, variance, and median. So I'm just going to select the average. So we like to see the average profit over time. And you can see that profits were very high in March and October. Profits were high in March and October, and there was this very sharp drop in April, and lowest points are April followed by July. So can we apply the format to this chart? The answer is yes, but this doesn't look good at all. We'll go to the format pane and go to the format pane. All right, we can adjust the data labels. All right, turn off the data labels rather. Turn on the y values for the y-axis. Okay, and we can apply or format all aspects of the line charts. Okay, so the x and y axis are good to go. We know that this is profit, and we know that this is the month. All right, so the next thing is to format the lines. All right, so we only have one line, so we can apply settings to all settings we apply to this line. What kind of line do you want there? Do you want dashed line? Do you want a solid line? You can select or choose that there. So let's leave it as what? As solid line. You can also change the stroke width, okay, to the number of pixels you want. The lower the pixels, the thinner the line, and the higher the pixels, the thicker the line becomes. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we are going to apply, or we are going to format the color. Okay, so the color of our line is currently not the same as, very good. So we've applied color to our line. So that's that about the line. You can play around with all these on your own. You can also apply markers, yes, to your data, to your line charts. Okay, so markers, you can specify the type of marker you want. Do you want triangular markers, round markers, square markers, diamond markers, and so on? I think I like this. I like it like this. You can also apply colors, right? Colors to your markers. You can apply colors to your markers. So in April and July, we had the lowest, or let's even say in April, we had the lowest profit. All right, we recorded the lowest profit. So I could change the profit in April to say red. Okay, so I could change the profit in April to say red. Okay, on the other hand, in March, we recorded the highest point of that of sales or profit. So I can also edit, all right, and apply maybe a very dark blue color to lay some emphasis on that point. All right, to lay some emphasis on these points. Nice. So you can format your colors as the way you want. Basically, you can format your colors the way you want. So the next thing is the data labels. Now, for the data labels, right, we can turn that on first. Okay, and you can apply your settings for now, that is to all the points in our chart. All right, all the points in our charts. All right, so for our data labels, right, we'd like to adjust the positions for our lines. Okay, we like to adjust the positions for our line, the position of the data label. So you can select above, under, but auto looks good. All right, even though it's still messy, we can format the values, later on. So right now, let's look at the values. The display units should be in thousands. All right, so applying a display unit in thousands, okay, makes it look better. All right, we can also reduce that to non just reduce, just a clear expands or extends it. So let's reduce the decimal places. Okay, so this is 2 decimal places, makes it look better and neat or neater. You can also format the background just like we saw before. You can also format the series label. All right, if you like to do that, the series label, sometimes you can have multiple lines in your line chart. You can have multiple lines in your line chart, and you like to label them to avoid confusion. All right, so hence the series label. For now, we have only one line, so which is the profit. I'm going to turn this off. All right, now our line chart looks a little bit cluttered because of the data labels. All right, just wanted to show you how to format the data labels for a line chart. I'm going to turn that off. Let's leave that as it is. Okay, so we've created a bar chart, a column chart, a line chart. The next chart we're going to create is the donut or pie chart. A lot of people frown against, including I myself, frown against using pie chart because of the space they occupy and the little information they are able to give out. All right, so use pie charts, or put pie chart at arm's length when creating your visuals. So what are we trying to visualize here? We want to visualize the different customer segments, all right, by the sales amount. All right, customers by sales amount. So how do we format these charts? So you're going to start by selecting the donut chart icon from the visualization pane, and then adding the fields we'd like to visualize. Okay, so since we want to find out which customer segment contributed the highest to sales for the superstore. All right, so we'll combine the segment column in the customers table with the sales column in the fact sales table. So here's our donut chart. Next thing we're going to do is to format the chart. So as we've done before, you click on the format visual icon on your visualization pane. You can adjust the position of your legend, that is the names of the categories in the segment column. So right now it's at the center right. I'll just move it to the top center position. You can also turn on or turn off or toggle between the title of your donut chart. So I'll just turn that off for now, since we all know this is the segment or customer segment. You can format the text, but let's just move on to the slices. The slices have different colors to represent different segments or proportion of your pie chart. They are all formatable or customizable. So here you can see that the consumer segment accounted for over 50% of the sales. All right. So let's just give them colors, all right, that match the theme we are currently working with. So the consumer, followed by the corporate, that's dark gray color, and then the lighter gray color for the homes or office supply, home office consumers. All right. So the next thing is the spacing. The spacing refers to the space in the inner radius of your donut chart. So you can format that as you want. One interesting thing is if you set the spacing to 0, you end up with a pie chart. All right. So that's so let's just leave that at 50% for now. The next chart element we are going to format is the detail labels. Okay, the detail labels. Currently, the detail labels are positioned outside your donut chart. So I'll prefer that to be inside. Okay, so on top of the donut, the slices. Okay, and then we can also select how we want the details to appear. Do you want just the category? Do you want the percent of total, or a combination of category and percent of total? And if you want all the details to appear, you can also select that. So for now, what we want is the category and percent of total. So this gives us, or this is what we get when you select that. All right. So the values, all right, that is the values, that's the percentage values there. You can format that. I'm just going to increase the font size to 10. All right. You can also format the background, display units, and the number of decimal places you want to appear in your percentage values. All right. So right now it's auto, which is 2 decimal places. So just leave all of that the way it is. Another aspect of your donut chart you can format is the rotation. All right, so you can rotate the donut chart up to 360 degrees. Okay, so but for now I think it's okay the way it is. So let's look at the general format features we have. Right now we have the title. I'm just going to edit the title to be sales. By, that's sales by customer segment. Okay, so we'll leave every other thing the way it is. Sales by customer segment. Now that we have our data labels, okay, in the donut chart, we do not need the legend anymore. So I'll turn that off. And here we are. nicely formatted and done. Today, you've learned about bar charts, creating bar charts, column charts, line charts, and even donut chart. You learned about the different purpose or use of these charts and the kind of data that they can visualize or tell stories about. Tomorrow you're going to learn about filters, different levels of filters, different kinds of filters that you can add to your reports. Remember that effective data visualization goes beyond choosing the right chart type. You need to consider your target audience, your data analysis goal, and the kind of data you're working with. I hope with this lesson, you'll be able to learn how to build visuals and you're ready to build your own stunning and impressive visualization. Until tomorrow, I remain your humble facilitator, Bolo Atife Oludupe. Thank you.
See you in the next tutorial. Until then, don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell to get updates on new videos, and share this video with your friends. Bye for now.